little bit about our special guest. He runs his own successful PR and management company for singers and songwriters, and he leads the PR campaigns for countries that are taking part in Eurovision Song Contest. Alon has worked with some of the leading singers and performers in Israel, helping them to build a career and an audience. He created several TV segments with his twin brother on Israeli TV and has written for several newspapers and leading websites. He also has his own radio show. He took part in many Eurovision competitions and served as the head of press for the Israeli delegation in 2009, 2012, 2013 and 2016, as well as for the Slovak 2011 and Belarusian delegations 2005. In addition, he has served as an international juror numerous times in national finals in Sweden, Malta, Estonia, Bulgaria, Norway and Finland. Is that all?
And Ireland.
And Ireland now, okay. Please, let's give him a very warm welcome, Alon Amir.
You can do better than that.
Welcome to Melbourne.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You're having a good time.
It's been my long life dream to come here, and I was dreadful by the long flight.
Yeah.
But doing that, it was easy. I don't know why people aren't coming here. You know, it's so easy, and it was fun, and I'm having fun. I will, actually. I will, and it's so much fun, and I'm in love with Melbourne.
You'll have to come back.
I will. I've been here less than 48 hours, and I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm heading to Sydney. Yeah, and I don't know. I love Melbourne.
Oh, wow. We love Melbourne too.
I've been told.
Now,
I'll let you know.
Before we talk about this important book, which I cannot wait to read, I just want to ask you, you have just come from Israel from Pride.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, did you participate in any official capacity in Pride, or did you just have fun?
Two of my artists performed on the main stage.
Yeah.
If you know Sexta, the group, and Khedva Amrani. She lives in LA, but she came especially for Pride, so I was working during Pride.
Okay, but still,
it's
nice to be part of it.
It's hot, it's humid. I'm not doing humid. I'm not coping with that very well. So there you go. So I'm European.
Even with all the water from the balconies being.
Yes, my grandparents are from Europe. I'm not. I can't do humidity. My teeth are sweating.
Now, I have to ask, just for personal reasons for myself,
yeah.
Because you'll understand. Do you know Eliad Cohen?
Eliad? I've met him.
You've met him?
Once or twice.
I was hoping you were going to be very good friends and recommend that he come out and visit me in Australia.
I'll pass on that.
But if you ever see him, say there's a single Jewish, skinny person.
I'll pass on the request. Don't worry about that.
He should settle down with.
Leave it with me.
Okay.
Consider it done.
Just Google Eliad Cohen. All right. I want to know, were you aware that Eurovision had such a big following in Australia?
Yeah. My first one was when I was 17. It was in Dublin. And when I went there with the Israeli delegation, I've heard that Eurovision is huge in Australia. And I've even heard then that Australia wanted to host it at one point. So I knew that Eurovision is big in Australia. And I'm very happy that you're taking part in it.
Well,
it's a wonderful addition.
Yeah, some of us are still a bit confused as to why we're in it, because we are so far removed.
Because Israel is part of Europe.
No, but not Israel, Australia.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Israel is not
Europe.
Europe.
No, Israel.
Azerbaijan is not Europe.
But there is a reason Israel. I think this goes back a long, long time
No,
they became involved.
It's about membership in the European Broadcasting Union, which Australia is part of. the US can take part, China, Kazakhstan, even Canada,
Yeah,
Lebanon,
yeah.
Tunisia, Morocco, they're all part of the European
All right.
Competition Union.
All right.
There you go.
Do you think Australia would ever have a chance of winning? And as I asked that because of the time
Why
zone
not?
difference, we would not be able to broadcast the same time.
Well, I know that should Australia win, and I'm sure it's going to be in the next couple of years, Germany will host it. But I have heard from someone in Australia that Australia might host it after all. They're working on that.
Okay, maybe we'll have to do it at 3 o'clock in the morning or something.
5
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, we would do it.
We would do it. We'd get up.
I'm sure we would do it.
And I'm sure that if not hosting it, you will do a pre-Eurovision event with all the artists before that, so they will come here.
Okay, that's really good. What is your earliest memory as a child of Eurovision?
Oh, that was when I was 7, the 1985 contest. I was sitting with my parents, as we all did, when we were watching Eurovision, waiting for the Israeli singer to sing. That was Izar Cohen, his second time in Eurovision. I remembered watching that, and I was hooked for some reason.
Sorry, which song is it?
Ole Ole. And I watched it, and ever since I kept watching the Eurovision, and when I was 10, I knew that someday I'll be part of it. And when I was 17, my last year at high school, I knew the producer Shlomo Tzach, if you know him. He was responsible for Hallelujah and Abba Levi among a lot of entries. I knew him, so I said, I'm going to join the Israeli delegation on my expense when I was 17 to learn how to do Eurovision. And I missed a couple of final exams. My mom didn't know. Had she known, she would never approve. And I went to Dublin on my own expense to learn what the hell is this contest and how to win it. And then Shlomo hired me to work in his company.
Fantastic.
And then we did the production of Dana International with Diva, which I was part of. You can see me in the crowd. And then I was the executive producer of the Israeli entry 99. That was fun. I actually suggested to Shlomo, it was Eden with Happy Birthday. I said, let's send this song in 98 to the committee. And he was like, no, we're not going to do Eurovision with this band. And the day after we returned with Dana, I said, we're going to send it next year. So I had known the year before what would be the Israeli entry because it was fantastic. And we came fifth in Jerusalem. That was fantastic.
That's great. You just mentioned Dana, and I have a question. By the way, I'm going to open questions to the floor eventually. I'm just going to run through my own. First.
Feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
You're in if you want.
Okay. Dana won Eurovision in 1998
Yeah.
at Birmingham,
Yeah.
and obviously became a huge worldwide success.
By the way, sorry,
Yeah.
don't go to Birmingham. Nothing to
No?
No need.
Are you in contact with Dana, and what's she doing these days?
Of course, I've worked with her many times. I love her. She's, first of all, very, very nice. She's very intelligent. I love her as a person. She's recording an album now.
Right.
I'm in very good contact with her manager, and she actually wrote some lovely things about me. It's in the book. I've asked several of the artists that I had worked with. Anne-Marie David, Eurovision winner, if you remember, she won in '73 for Luxembourg. I'm her manager. Tu te reconnaîtras, if you remember that song. So Dana was one of the artists that had written some lovely words about me.
Okay. Now, I want to move on to a different artist altogether, something a bit more current. In 2018, Netta.
Yeah. Didn't work with her. I was promoting my book in Lisbon.
No, that's okay, that's okay. I just want to know, it was a very kooky and a very way out song.
Yeah.
Do you have any opinion on the choice of song? It does actually grow on me. I do like it.
I like it, but I can't listen to it anymore. We've heard it in Israel so many
Oh,
times,
cool.
I can't listen to it anymore. And when I do interviews overseas, I always start with kulului, kulului, and everybody laughs, but I can't listen to it anymore. But I love that song. I mean, it's not a song more than it is a track. And the story behind it, I mean, her story and her values, I think, they were the reason of our latest victory. Like with Dana, her story, it's not just the song and the performance, it's the story behind it.
I understand. This song is so different from the previous winner, the Salvador Sobral.
Yeah.
I mean, the contrast between the two winning songs is just absolutely incredible.
But that's what we love about the Eurovision Song Contest. Anyone can win.
That's right.
With any,
That's right.
you just have to touch people and move them, and that's what she did. That's what he did.
Over the years with Eurovision, what is the most embarrassing or the worst song that you have ever witnessed? Something that stands for so many.
So many to choose from. Oh, but this is why I love the Eurovision, because you've got these great songs, and then you've got these shitty, horrible songs, and you're like, really?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
What? I mean, that's your and embarrassing outfits and singers that can't sing, but this is what I love about the Eurovision, because I have to admit, I'm not a fan of the contest. I love working with it. I love some of the songs, and I can't watch the entire broadcast without being drunk. Otherwise, it's boring. I can't stand the hosts that are trying to be funny, but they're not. I mean, the hosts in Düsseldorf, they were fantastic, and I love them, and Petra from Sweden. But embarrassing songs, so much to choose from.
Okay. What about,
let me, I'm trying to remember, okay. I think the worst winning entry, let's talk about worst winning entry, has to be the one from Estonia in 2001. Horrible, horrible song. That was the worst winner ever. With the following year, again, the second worst winning entry from Latvia.
okay.
In my opinion, when I'm entitled to my opinion.
What about one of the best songs that you've ever heard?
Again, a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. It's an anthem. I have to say, to by Anne-Marie David, because I'm working with her.
Yeah.
But also Euphoria by Lorraine. That's an amazing song. I mean, Love Shine a Light by Katrina and the Waves, UK 1997. Brilliant song.
Okay.
Brilliant song.
Excellent. Now, my next question. You've been a juror several times. What do you look for in a performance?
People are actually, the networks, the broadcasters are actually paying me and my flights to go there and help them pick a song. And I still can't believe it when they're asking me, and every year it's like 4 countries are asking me to help them choose a song. I look for, people might think that I will choose the worst songs, so we won't have any competition. No. I'm choosing the best ones, the one, because it's my reputation.
That's right.
After all, I'm looking for a song that would do the best, that will get as high as possible, the best performance. You know, the overall. It's not just about the best song. It's the singer, the performance, the story behind it. If there's a story. I remember that we were in Sweden in 2014, and we're always judging not the final, but we're judging on the rehearsal, the dress rehearsal in the afternoon. And I remember sitting, and in 2014, Sanna Nilsson represented Sweden, but there was another singer called Ace Wilder. And she had this song, and I thought, because I love Sanna as a person, and she's a very good friend, and I thought, well, I'm going to give her the 12. But then Ace came, and I was like, that's going to win Eurovision. So I gave her 12 points, and the French juror who was sitting next to me said, really? That song? And I said, yeah, first of all, it's amazing. Second of all, there will be no other song like that in Eurovision, and that's going to win. And he gave her 1 point. And he said, you're right. And he turned it into 12.
Oh.
Yeah. And she came second in Sweden. She didn't win, but she was #1 in the Swedish charts for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And the winning entry was not.
Okay. Do you know what I thought would have won this year? That I really believed might have won.
If I remember that, okay.
Okay.
Which one?
The Irish one. The 2 boys.
Okay.
The dancers. You
Okay.
didn't like, oh, that's so
I was part of
like-
the jury member that helped RTE to pick
Yeah.
their song.
Yeah.
So they sent me 10 songs. I was not sent to Ireland. They sent me the 10 songs and I listened to them and they were all shit. Each and every one of them. And I had to give them marks and like score and to write my comment on each and every song. And I remember that this song was my least favorite.
Oh.
And I wrote no, 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 instead of are you fucking kidding me? Because I felt embarrassed to write that. So I called Michael, the head of delegation, after listening to all the song, and I said, what's your aim this year? I mean, do you want to make it to the final? And he was like, he didn't like anything, huh? I said, no! But this song, as a song, I didn't like it. I think they qualified to the final thanks to the dancers and the story and the fact that a lot of Eastern European countries said it's abomination and no, we won't have gay. That is the story. It's not the song. Because the song is like, okay, fine.
I loved it anyhow.
You like the dancers.
I did. I like the story behind it, and I like.
Okay, you like the story, not the song.
I like the song as well, but I did like the combination of the both.
So
it was a combination of.
good for you.
Yeah.
You're one of the few who liked it. Yes. Good for you. Good for them as well. They did qualify after all.
All right, I'm going to ask you a totally different sort of question now. Eurovision has a lot of glamorous, good-looking people, artists, so many people involved. Tell me about any romances and hanky-panky that goes on backstage. Do opposing countries hook up in the motel rooms at night and things go on?
Of course.
Of course.
Listen, you have to remember that doing Eurovision, it's artists. We're not politicians.
No.
Okay, so we don't have to be politically correct. We get
But they're not
drunk.
Our politicians are not politically correct. They do all sorts of things that get them in trouble.
Yeah, but we're loud. We're expected. So we get drunk almost every night, which is fun. Hookups, of course.
Tell us about what you actually discovered.
Well, first of all, I didn't go to Azerbaijan with Singer Yerden Oz. That's the character in the book. I went with the group Isabeau, and they were lovely. We went to Azerbaijan, which is a Muslim country with an open border to Iran. Now, the fear was that we would be kidnapped to Iran. Now, I've done Eurovision many, many times, and we've never had special agents coming from Israel to be with us. So 3 days before we went to Azerbaijan, we had a security briefing, and like always, don't do this, don't do that, don't do whatever. Fine. So we landed at Azerbaijan, wonderful, amazing hotel, the best one I've ever had, I've ever been in, and with 3 special agents. So we had the whole floor to ourselves, security reasons. And we were called for another security briefing, which, fine, and it's the same, don't do this, don't do that, and we're like, we've heard that, don't worry. But there was another thing, since we had the whole floor to ourselves. What to do if in the middle of the night we hear gunshots and screaming? And you're like, what do you do? There's the possibility of a terror attack in the floor and what to do. And you know, we were laughing and we were smiling during the briefing, and suddenly everyone like, oh, what? So we had to, by the way, I'm telling you, we had to lock our doors in the room, get into the bathroom, lock the door in the bathroom, and lay down. And then wait until they will scream to us to get out and run. They told us in which elevator we had to use, which floor to go to, where to run from that and where to hide, and in case everyone is safe, they will come and take us. And then you realize, something is happening. So it's the morning of day 3. You know, we had 3 special agents, we knew them, they were cute, they were good looking, as all security people are, all straight, we've checked. And I was waking up, we checked. So I was waking up on the 3rd morning, and you know, we had a station of the security of the Shabak, and I'm going from my room to the gym, Because of the alcohol, we tend to gain weight. So I went to the gym, and it's the morning, and I see this guy, which I don't know, but he's wearing the uniforms, and he's got the earpiece and everything. And the first thing that I ask myself is, how drunk am I that I don't recognize him? How much did I drink last night? Nothing. So I'm like, good morning, and you are... And he was talking Hebrew, and I said, oh, we came last night for backup. And I said, what do you mean, we? He said, no, don't worry about it. Everything is fine, nothing to be worried about. Now, I know my thing, and I was like, okay, how many is we? No, don't worry about it. And I was like, I'm the head of press. How much is we? 12 more. And this is the moment that I realized that I'm coming back home in a coffin, and my mom is not going to be very happy about it. And I knew that something was happening. So we had 15 special agents.
Yes.
I can tell, because it was published, that they did they catched 40 terrorists, Iranian, who came to kidnap us and blew up our hotel and the venue. And the amount of machine guns and hand grenades they've caught with the terrorists, you can start a war with that.
Yeah.
So we do know that we owe them our lives. They did their work very, very good.
Yes.
We were very appreciative.
They were going to actually blow up the venue of Europe.
The venue, the hotel, and kidnap us to Iran. Now, I've learned a year ago that on top of those 15 special agents, Shabak, there were also about 20 Mossad agents undercover to protect us. So we were 17 people in the delegation and about 40 security people to protect us from being kidnapped and something to happen to us. And you know, back then I knew exactly what was happening, or I thought I knew what was happening, and it was the most dreadful experience of my life. Looking back, I'm thinking, amazing. I mean, I got a book out of it, brilliant. That was worth it. But returning to Israel, I couldn't move, literally couldn't move for 10 days because I was exhausted emotionally.
Yeah, drained.
I was drained.
Yeah.
And for 10 days I couldn't move because I knew that we were targets.
Yeah.
And the following year we went to Malmo, which was fun, but with only 5 special agents. And I was like, that's a kid's game. Only 5, that nothing is happening. In 2016 we had 4, and with 4 it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Okay. But we're going to read about that in the book in greater detail.
Yeah, well, the book is not a bio. It's it's a semi-fictional novel based on my experience and inspired by. So it's not with Isabel. There are 2 main characters. One that is based on me, and one that is based on a singer, Moran Mazor, which did Eurovision in 2013. And she's the best singer I've ever worked with. And Yarden Oz is based mainly on her.
All right, I look forward to that. Speaking of the book, I want you to tell me more about the title of the book. You use the word eternity.
Yeah.
Does that 3 minutes of fame actually stay with the performer forever, or are some or a lot of them forgotten?
Well, when I thought about the title, 3 minutes of eternity, what I meant is what you look and see. Those 3 minutes, the song on stage for us feels like eternity, and it takes years of our lives. I mean, we work 24/7 for 3-4 months, doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Anne-Marie David, the Eurovision winner, gave another interpretation to that, to the name of the book. She said, those 3 minutes back in 1973 gave me an eternity of whatever it is. Because 45 years later, I'm still being invited to a lot of places all over the world, singing my song. People still know me, they still love me after 45. It's like an eternity.
Yes.
So that's her interpretation, which I loved. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it like that.
I see.
For me, it was like those 3 minutes that you see, for me, it's like an eternity. And it depends on the artists that I'm working with, because sometimes they're lovely, and sometimes they're motherfuckers.
I think now is as good a time as any to take questions.
Yeah, feel free.
Oh, we've got one hand straight up. Sorry.
3.
You've got 3. Let's begin with the first.
Okay, so the first one is what do you think about the current controversy in Israel with having Eurovision in Jerusalem again?
So I'll answer that and then you'll continue because I won't remember.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I'm 40.
Well,
It's not working.
let's add, and what's your opinion when you want it to be?
I can understand why some countries are having problems. However, I think it's very hypocritical of them because they didn't have any problems in Moscow in 2009 or Azerbaijan or the World Cup in Russia right now. They didn't say, let's not go, let's boycott it. So I think when it comes to Israel, they're very hypocritical. I would like to, we have hosted Eurovision in Jerusalem twice. Let's do it in Tel Aviv now. Come on, I'm a fan of Tel Aviv. I live in Tel Aviv. I'm not a fan of Jerusalem. Sorry, people. I don't like that city. But let's do it in Tel Aviv. The delegations will have much more fun in Tel Aviv. It's the cultural capital of Israel. It's the gay capital of the Middle East. We have great beaches, great food, great looking people. So I'm thinking they will have so much fun in Tel Aviv, so I hope it will be held in Tel Aviv. But if Jerusalem will be the host city, fine.
And my follow-up question as well is, what do you think if Israel or any country would actually put in a metal ban, like in 2006 when Finland won, using a metal ban? You might remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see some metal into Eurovision. I don't listen to pop. I listen
If
to...
it's a good song, why not? They had a metal band from Hungary this year, or hard rock, whatever. If it's good, why not? I mean, Eurovision, as we said before, they're open for every type of genre of music. I mean, even this year, I think we've had 18 or 19 different genres in the Eurovision. So everyone can find whatever they like, and if it's a good song, why not? I mean, Lordi, when they won, come on, it's a rip of what's the name of the? It's not an original song, let's say it like that. But it was it's a good song. I love that. But it was the gimmick, which helped them. Which this is how you win Eurovision. Who cares why or they won Eurovision?
We had that's not the Aleph, I was going to say.
Yeah, I have a question. Ding Dong. In 2011, you were working with Slovakia, but
Yeah.
Dana International came back to Eurovision.
Yeah.
Wasn't very successful.
Yeah.
What did you talk to her about that song?
Yeah.
Why did she re-enter? Did she know about
I
it?
actually talked to her manager about it a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, when you won Eurovision, why would you ever enter again? You cannot beat that.
You can. Ask Johnny Logan. You can. Why doing that? They went to Eurovision for the second time because it was held in Germany. And they wanted the German market. That was the main reason. I knew Ding Dong I've heard it for the first time a couple of years before Eurovision. I didn't like that song. I didn't like the performance. They didn't really invest the effort to win Eurovision like they did in '98. That was a mistake. When she does Eurovision events nowadays, she doesn't even sing Ding Dong. She sings Diva and Goodnight Europe, which was in the national final in '95. She doesn't do Ding Dong anymore. And you know what? Nobody remembers in Israel that she participated for the second time. Nobody. And she would like to forget that as well, I would think. Yeah, I would have done things differently with her in 2011. Way different. Starting with a different song, for example.
Any questions? Like,
What do you think about the way that the song was chosen this year?
Next star for Eurovision. I did that a couple of years ago with my artist, Hovi Star, and he won and we represented Israel. The good thing about it is, thanks to this format, Eurovision was regaining its popularity in Israel again, so it's achieved its goal, and thanks for that. Thanks them for that. But I'm not a fan of this method of choosing an artist to Eurovision. I think we can do a national final again, and I think, from what I've heard, this would be the method, like national final for next year, not Rising Star. It was nice, but let's move on.
Would method have been chosen in a different way? I think it was done in a different way.
Maybe, you know what, why not? I mean, I would like to see not just the newcomers, I would like to see real artists, like, not real artists, not the right word, established artists, trying to represent Israel, and they will need to choose a song and a performance, and someone like that can win Eurovision or the national final, why not? I mean, it had happened before, so why not? But I think it's time to move on from this method and go back to a national final.
A following question.
Yeah.
Which artist would you like to see it in?
That's the wrong question. It's not the artist. It's the artist and the song and the performance. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Dana International, well, not Dana, Miri Mesika or Rita or someone like that nobody knew. It's the song, it's the performance, and of course the artist, but nobody knows them in Europe, so it doesn't really matter if they're famous or not. It's mainly the song and the performance. It's not the artist. If he or she are famous or not, I don't care. If they're good, they're good. Yeah.
I don't have an ear and knowledge for the different musical genres. To me, it's pop and variations of pop and that kind of thing. So 16 plus categories of music, and I didn't notice those in the last Eurovision. You obviously have a criteria that you're looking for with songs and what you said before you think would win Eurovision. Is there a category of music you think would more likely win over others, or top 5 that are more likely to win?
Let's say that rock is not going to be one of the genres that would win Eurovision. Someone that appeals to everybody. Could be opera. Could be a ballad, could be pop. As long as it's good and it's performed well, and the singer can touch your soul, good enough. Doesn't matter the genre. I mean, if it's good, it's good, and I'm not sticking to, let's send the pop. No, I mean, it's like 10 years ago. It's been done to death. Now you need something unique. You need something special, something that will catch your ear, and you can sing along to or not, but has, I think, in order to win Eurovision, you need a good song, good singer, great staging, and now we can add a story. Gimmick, story, doesn't matter.
Liz.
Hi. Have you ever noticed any of the hosts making comments that might have influenced the vote?
Not that I recall. This year they wouldn't mention Jerusalem. They just say hello Israel, but I don't think anyone noticed in Europe. Comments that may have influenced. I don't think they're allowed. I mean, the EBU does, they go through the script, they have to approve it. Not that I, do you have any example in mind? Not that I recall, no. I don't think so. If someone were to say something about Israel on stage or during a live broadcast, know that I wouldn't like, I'd smack them and kick them in the head during, I mean, when it comes to Israel, on my watch, I'm like, don't you dare.
Just to answer your question very quickly, this year I hope you noticed my suggestion, the script suggestion, they said good day Australia, not good morning Australia during the vote. It's the first time they've ever actually said that.
They say good day.
Yeah, well they didn't get, they said good day.
Oh, good
It wasn't
day,
what
yeah.
I suggested, but it was close enough.
Yeah,
So that was a nice touch. Last year in Kiev, we all got very worried when Israel signed off from Eurovision and said goodbye. Tell us the story about the new broadcaster.
It was the poor choice of words by Israel, by Ofer, who gave the points from Israel. I thought it was a poor choice of words because Israel didn't say goodbye. It was IBA who was closing, And the new broadcaster, you know, they were beginning. But it wasn't Israel saying goodbye, and those chose, this choice of words, everybody thought, okay, Israel is not taking part anymore. And this is why he's not giving the points anymore. It wasn't just by him, it was, the choice was by him and his superiors. I don't know, I thought it was stupid. There was no need to do that. But the new broadcaster, you know, they're doing fine. They managed to win. And now they'll get to host it, so I'm not envious. I mean, I pity them. I remember when we won in '98. You know, we were standing. I was in the audience with all the delegation, and we were screaming and shouting in euphoria. And a minute after that, it was like, shit, what have we done? Now we have to host it. That's not good. That's not good, because you know it's a punish. Hosting the Eurovision, it's not fun. And then it was just a week in 20-something countries. Now it's twice as big. But I can do it. We've got a lot of brilliant minds in Israel, and they can do it very nicely. And yeah, and I was hoping Gal Gadot will host it, but she said no. Schedule. I really wanted Gal Gadot to host it. You know, what's better than Wonder Woman to do it? What was it?
Get Eliad Cohen to host it.
Sorry?
Where are you going to host it?
There is a new arena, Pais Arena. It's big enough. Not huge, but it's big enough. So maybe Pais Arena in Jerusalem, or Nokia in Tel Aviv, or there is actually a nicer venue. Haifa, never. I hope not. It's boring. 700 meters from my apartment, there's a nice venue, and I hope it will be there, because that's going to be easy for me. No need for a hotel to pack anything, nothing. I'm just walking.
Who actually gets
Which
to
one
decide
is that?
where it'll be posted? Because I mean, if
Debut with the Israeli Broadcasting Authority.
So it's not to do with the regulars at the end of the day. I mean, she doesn't get to really.
She's
She's really screwing things up for us.
She's making a lot of noise,
Yeah.
and that's what she's good at.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's the TV's choice, and the EBU they have to approve it. So it's the EBU, and I don't think they will approve Jerusalem for various reasons. And I hope Tel Aviv.
I hope so too.
It's going to be lots of fun in Tel Aviv.
It's just
One big party.
Yeah, Tel Aviv is one big party anyway, so you know, bring the Eurovision and it's a gay fest. It's going to be fun.
It just takes away the politics out of it as well. Jerusalem is just too much of a hot ticket at the moment.
That's what I'm
And this
saying.
is why I'm concerned. I'm actually very concerned that it's just going to really be a huge battle down there. There's just going to, and it's going to be very vulnerable as to whether Israel will post at the club. I mean,
I know that's my fear as well, that they will.
very contentious.
That's my fear as well. But I think all the politicians have realized that it's not up to them, because they were making those remarks like the week after we've won. They made some remarks, and they were noticed, and they were told that it's damaging, and they've learned.
Right.
And Mrs. Regev, she can, you know, she's good at making some noise, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's not up to her. Yeah. And you know what? I'm sure that once she will understand that, she will be on board and follow the rules and be calm about it, and do her thing to make it happen in Israel, because it's very important for Israel to host it. PR-wise and everything, it's a good thing for Israel to host it. It's going to show the world a different side of Israel that they usually get to see. So Eurovision is good for Israel.
And you can always wear the Jerusalem dress again.
Exactly. Exactly.
She was like a Jerusalem
No, I
dress.
They won't understand, but it was actually designed by a friend of mine. Yeah, I know. She got what she wanted.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing.
Michael.
A very naive question. Any chance of an Australian singing for Israel? Why not?
You have to be Israeli.
Yeah.
You know, every
Well,
broadcaster,
someone who lives over here. And,
if you have an Israeli citizenship, you can.
Thanks, Michael.
Listen, you have to be a citizen of Israel. It doesn't matter where you live, but you have to have an Israeli citizenship. That's the rules. You know, every country gets to decide. Some countries are allowing foreigners to represent them. Israel, you've got to have an Israeli passport and be an Israeli citizen. Even the songwriters, they have to be Israelis. So, yeah, I mean, that's the way it is.
You have enough talent. Yeah, exactly.
We've got more than enough talents in Israel. More than enough talents, yeah.
Any more questions? Or I leave it up to you to fill in any gaps that we haven't touched on, anything you want to let us know?
I told the Ritz from the embassy, thank you for them for inviting me actually.
Yes.
It's up to, I mean, they're responsible for me being here, so thank you. I told her something in the cab because I told her I don't pass the opportunity of embarrassing myself. I love that. And I was telling her a story that, you know, there are a lot of Eurovision preview events before the Eurovision itself, and in 2016 we did like 5. We've been to Latvia, Moscow, Amsterdam, Malta, and Tel Aviv, and I think I'm forgetting something. So we did the event in Moscow when we came from Latvia. And we did this event, we were there for 24 hours, and if there is a city that I really hate, that's Moscow. That's the only city I've been to that I can't stand. And we did the event, it was fantastic, they organized it brilliantly, and we had the after party. No media, no fans, just delegations. So it's like 20-something people, it's the singer's birthday. Sergei Lazarov is one of the most famous singers in Russia. And it's his birthday, we're at this wonderful restaurant, and this singer from Macedonia, Calliope, we did Eurovision together in 2012, and the bitch knows that if I'm handed a drink, I will fucking drink it. So she got me drunk. She knows what she's doing, and she's a wonderful person, and I love her. So she got me drunk, and we're sitting at the table, and we're laughing, and everything is fine, and there's a huge birthday cake. And my singer goes and she brings these 2 chunks of cake for the whole table, for 20 people of us. And this guy who made the cake came by and he stood next to me and he's like, I did this cake and it's such a privilege, and he was very proud of himself making the cake. Now, what I'm about to tell you, I don't remember. I was told because I was drunk. But it's really me, so I believe that. So he was bragging about making the cake and how wonderful it is, blah, blah, blah. While he was doing that, apparently I was trying the cake, and I said to myself, but apparently very loud, oh, that's disgusting. And, you know, so, and that's, I'm doing that a lot, embarrassing myself. There are so many, when we did Latvia 3 days before, one of our best friend was the Serbian singer, Sanja. I love her to death. But when I saw the preview, the video, I thought it was a drag queen. Because the makeup was awful and the gestures, and I was like, oh, good for them for sending a drag queen to the contest. Nice, from Serbia. So we met in Riga, and she came to me and she introduced herself, and I was like, and which country are you representing? Because she's a gorgeous woman, but she looked like a drag queen. She's like, I'm representing Serbia, and I was like, sweetie, no, that's a drag queen, that's me. And I thought, well, sweetie, but this song is shit, you won't qualify, I don't know what you're doing here. And she told me that was the moment that she decided to become our best friend, because she thought, that's gonna be fun. And we became really good friends, and she qualified. Now I love that song, it's brilliant. And I made a lot of really good friends that year. 2016 was an exceptional year because we were 7 or 8 singers that we were this group, and I'm not working with the Israeli singer anymore, but I am friends and talking to all of the other singers. Calliope, we keep corresponding. Sanja came to visit me in Israel. Polly is like my sister, she keeps coming, and we're working together actually. And Beret from Spain, and Ira from Malta. That was a really fantastic year because all the singers were so nice. And it doesn't happen every year. And and we even collaborating and working together. So this is what I love about the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm not a fan of the contest itself. It's the platform. It's meeting other singers and songwriters, and I get to travel a lot. People are inviting me, and I get to be in Australia thanks to the Eurovision Song Contest. So
Well, we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. I think we're done with questions. One more question?
One more question? Anyone?
Elizabeth? Oh, yeah, a couple.
Feel free. I mean,
Go on, keep
Will
going.
will the Israeli consulate put on a special show for Eurovision next year?
a special what?
Show here in Melbourne.
Will the Israeli consulate put on a special show?
Ask them. I don't know.
We have to.
I'm willing to provide artists, no problem. If they will pay for the tickets and the hotel, we're willing to come. Don't worry. Yeah.
Steve, did you have your hand up? On Mark.
With the platform that you just mentioned there with Eurovision, it's evolved over the decades that it's been going on. Where do you think it's going? Like, what is it going to become? World Vision? Where does it go to?
No, I don't think the EU wants it to be any bigger. I think it's big enough and it's long enough and it's too much as it is. I don't think they will invite other countries anymore. There is going to be Asia Pacific contest, which Australia is organizing, by the way. Eurovision, it's like a love creature. It keeps evolving all the time. So what will be with it in the future? Same as it is today, but different types of song. People keep saying, oh, it was best in the 70s, but you don't hear those songs anymore on the radio, and it is a song contest which I think you've got songs in the contest that not only represent your country and the musical taste of the country, but they want to succeed, and they're sending songs like there are on radio nowadays. I mean, I said it was a platform because in 2009 with Mira and Noah, we only we finished 16th. But thanks to Eurovision and the PR that we did, they had over 100 concerts that year in Europe, 2 tours to North America, 1 to South America, 1 to China, 1 to India, thanks to Eurovision. I love this platform. I don't need to win it every time. I love the platform.
It's the same as, say, for a guy Sebastian who used that as a platform to get into Europe and everything in concerts and that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
So it's a platform. Some of the artists don't really want it. They're not there to win it.
Yeah. I like the idea that Eurovision creates its own weather.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
its own environment and atmosphere.
Exactly. But again, the thing that I love about Eurovision, not the most, but it's the shitty songs. The one that you're like, really? And you gotta laugh about those songs. I mean, when Ireland sent the Turkey, we're not the first one to do Turkey in Eurovision. Ireland did that in 2008. Come on, that was so bad. It was fantastic. I love that. You gotta love this thing.
And we do.
Yeah, especially when we're drunk. We love those things when we're drunk.
All right, so that's the tip.
You got the key motif here is alcohol.
Right.
You get to understand.
But Alon, Dustin has announced he wants to represent UK in Israel this year.
Who?
Dustin Turkey. He wants to represent UK.
But also Robbie Williams. And Steps. They say, for serious now, Robbie Williams said that he wants to do Eurovision. Steps want to do Eurovision, and I think it was James Blunt or someone else. So Dustin the Turkey, I don't think so. No one will ever allow him back. Come on, that's a joke, and the first time it's funny, the second time it's really. So I don't think that will happen, but I would like to see Robbie Williams representing the UK and Israel. That's gonna be fun. And we need another major artist participating in the Eurovision, such as Robbie Williams. It's been a long time since it's happened.